the game and continue low Elo Legends. It has been a fun, relaxing day for me, hanging out after some pretty crazy days with Hidden Cup 4 qualifiers. Thanks for everyone that was there, by the way, and able to make it back on Tuesday. Here we have 486 Elo and Pantherira playing as the Indians and building a quad house at the start. And 500 Elo from Artem Z. Let me tab out quickly just to double check that's correct. Okay, 526 for Panth, and then 486 for Artem here. And the Civ matchup, as we go into Capture Age, sorry, lots of tabbing, is Cumans against Indians. And Artem is already making a mill. Huh. Well, that's interesting. I know a lot of low elo players like to build the mill before the lumber camp, and then they like to chop the straggler trees for wood to get the wood for a lumber camp. This map is all about wood, so please, 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 please make a lumber camp on this one, guys. A lot of players will make a lumber camp here at the start and then have to push towards the middle to control the wood. Atacama is similar to Arabia where it's open, just a lot more middle focused. 7 villagers for both of them. And they both slightly struggled with having their TC idle. But, I mean, that's going to happen. I'm just curious what strategies they're going to go for. Sharkfin, and this goes for you and anyone else who might want to download Capture Age. And, wow, the same strategy from Blue. Okay, we'll see some straggler tree chopping. If you want to download Capture Age, I think you just go to captureage.com and download it at this point. Anyone can use it. What I'm using here is available for everyone. Yep, okay. So we see the strat. Collecting food underneath the TC. Chopping straggler trees for that next lumber camp. The only real difference here is that Red didn't make a lot of houses at the start. So Red is currently pop capped, as Red only made a single house. Okay, there's that house. But currently that villager cannot hop out of the TC because of being housed. So Artem, the lower rated player, just slightly, it would consider behind. I've like 0 minutes played on DE on this map. How early/late would you want to go forward with lumber? It depends. I like to go for my first lumber camp out here because you kind of know the wood is there, so you just scout it and send your villagers out. But I would say a safe way of doing it is place your first lumber camp in the middle and closer to your base, and then build your second ones out here. Like Red seems to be a little bit closer, and there goes Red for the lumber camp. So yeah, that's what I would suggest, but it does kind of depend on your strategy too. Like let's say you want to go for a drush, you're going to want wood sooner rather than later, so you might not want that walking time. George's Dong, what a great name. Says, does the arrow sound for towers work in your Capture Age? I don't think it does, no. There's some things they have to update yet. M4 says, is there any chance we're getting spec chat in DE? I missed the crazy Diplo games. I'm still complaining about it. I would say, listen, I'm not trying to get everyone to riot on my behalf against Microsoft on their social medias and whatnot. But it probably, if people were really outspoken about wanting spectator chat on forums and Twitter and Facebook and whatnot, I think it probably would go a long way behind the scenes, but I just don't know. They know that it's something that's needed. It's just, is it part on their priority list? That's the thing. So Sharkfin, like, I've been complaining about it for 14 months at this point, so I've done pretty much everything that I can. Can we get some petition up? I don't think a petition's really going to do much, but if, like, you know, someone, if they tweet out like, hey, there's this new update this month, and 100 people are like, where's spec chat? It might have more of an effect than 1 or 2. But as long as you speak your mind respectfully, that's pretty much all I have to say on the matter. Can you talk to Jeff Bezos? Not on Tuesdays. I talk to Jeff Bezos on Fridays. But it is a Microsoft game, so Jeff basically laughs about it and says, typical Microsoft to not finish something they started. So that's what Jeff had to say. But Jeff and I are going out to play golf Sunday afternoon, and afterwards we're gonna fly in his jet and have some beers in his yacht. So... yeah, he's retired, so we have a lot more time to chill. Jeff and I go way back. We're good friends. Okay.
Never gonna happen.
Actual Bill Gates donated $5 and said never gonna happen. See, this is what Microsoft thinks of Spec Chat. Interesting lumber camp for Blue. Blue's gonna build a lumber camp between 3 mini wood lines. It's very congested over here. But Blue has just done a better job keeping villagers producing out of the town center this game. Do you think that maybe low elo players heavily benefit from having Indians because villagers are so cheap? I mean, this is the second straight game we've been able to see a 500 elo player with this doing such a good job with keeping the vills producing all the time. Blue has scouted the middle, has not really found where red is, though, and has brought the scout home. Interesting. On the way to feudal. After feudal, we'll get loom. And then red is also on the way to feudal at 15 pop as opposed to 25 pop. So 10 population difference there. That's a pretty big deal.
I told you that you would only get it if Neely won Bidden Cup 4. No Neely, no Spec Chat.
Uh-huh. Thank you, Bill Gates. You're great. I've never seen this joke before, and this is a PG stream, so typically I wouldn't read this aloud. Kappa. Red Pillar says, why doesn't Bill Gates get dates? Because he's Microsoft. Woo! All right. Yeah, you guys have been pulling out some crazy jokes recently. I've never heard that one before.
Salam.
What's this villager up to for red?
What?
This villager isn't the one building the houses. Or is it?
Uruhanas?
Oh, it is. Okay. Can we appreciate the fact, and I don't know if we should really use the word appreciate, red has a lumber camp, but has one on wood. And that's it. All the other villagers are on food. Okay, lots of villagers queued up. Now red's canceling some of the villagers that are queued up. Interesting. And then blue in the feudal age, researching loom. This is becoming problematic with the lack of wood for blue. Blue's going to farm, but I think a second lumber camp in the middle would do wonders for efficiency. I mean, they're both queuing up vills. I expect the vill counts to be around where they're at, or the vill difference to be around where they're at. I'm wondering if red is going to make a second town center in the middle. Hard to know if red picked Cumins or if it was random civ, but it does kind of seem like red might be saving up the wood for a TC in the middle. For low elo, wouldn't be the worst strategy. Secure the middle with a town center and then just keep booming. Meanwhile, blue over here, taking the deer with multiple villagers, all right. And then making some farms. I'm impressed with blue. Now, if someone were to learn a half-decent scout rush or man-at-arms rush, blue would be dead. But the fact that blue is keeping his TC running most times, still only 32 seconds of TC idle time, is pretty impressive. Now, has not researched the wood or the farm upgrade, which kind of hurts to see. But that's just a game knowledge thing. As far as the skill level goes, this is pretty solid. Why does red have a villager? Don't build your TC down here, please. What is this villager doing here? This was the same villager that was building those houses and walking in the corner earlier. You see this? There's a second TC in feudal, so Artem recognizes that. Wait a second. Does red want to house wall all the way to these houses? Red, that's a lot of houses. Even if your houses were 4 times the size, that would be a lot of houses. Don't tell me. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. Red, don't do it all right now. Make some farms. Make some farms with your wood, please. You don't have any farms. Okay, here's some farms. There we go. That's like it. Or that's more like it. Because otherwise, red would never have food going forward. But okay, red seeds some farms. Red's not producing vills out of the TCs, which really hurts. But I guess the logic is just you need houses anyways. So make a wall with those houses. And what?
Namaste.
Blue, you're stonewalling yourself into the area that you're going to run out of resources in. Like, you won't have wood in here. But okay, blue wants to play extra safe. And blue adding stone walls. And making militia. Okay, Okay, so now we're starting to see, there it is. All right, ladies and gents, here we are. This is officially low Elo Legends. We're starting to see the low Elo strats. See this mining camp? Blue doesn't want to mine the gold that's safe. Blue wants to take the risky gold now, thinking that, well, if I lose those villagers, whatever, at least I've taken as much of the risky gold as possible. I have this for later. And I think the militia are not offensive. I think the militia are defensive. And you can see that defense in action right now. Great militia micro from Blue against Red's auto scout, and Red has left the town. Blue scout is over here. 28 villagers against 37. I mean, Red's going to catch up economically with these two TCs. And also making his buildings ever so slowly all the way over here. It would crack me up if it goes like blacksmith, market, barracks, stable, archer range, siege workshop, university, monastery. And just all the buildings you would want a part of this wall. Well, barracks is going here instead. But Red's in a good spot. Gold secured with the town center. Holy walls from Panth. Quite a few militia out there. And I wonder if Blue will notice this and think, how does this person have 2 TCs? At low Elo, that might surprise you. I bet you there's been a low Elo player who's accused another low Elo player of cheating while playing Kumans.
But
Like, how did he use that cheat code? I never got to make 2 town centers. Not in feudal age. Okay, there we go. All right, honestly, I was really worried that Red was going to do all of this with houses and it would take forever. And the main worry there, I don't want to make it seem like using buildings as part of your wall is bad. The main worry is that I didn't think he would farm. That's still a worry, as we're going to see 2 stables, still only on 6 farms. Yes, that is still a concern. Blue mining the stone forward and mining the gold forward. 34 villagers versus 41. T90, why is taking an exposed resource first a bad strategy? Because it's more exposed and the enemy can attack you. You shouldn't see villagers as throwaways. You should use the villagers to collect resources to then secure those lands with military. But I suppose that this Elo, it's not like players are super aggressive, so it doesn't make that big of a difference. Also, is there a hole there? I guess not. It kind of looks like there might be. Right. Palisades going up. More farms now for Artem. So just spending your resources is what becomes the toughest task, and both players having those issues. If 1,000 wood for Blue with awful lumber location. I really hope Blue's going to make a second lumber camp at some stage, you know? Like, what if Blue uses this lumber camp the whole game? Ah! But then again, you see that, and then Blue also has a lot of wood in the bank, so Blue's going to make these buildings. All right, blacksmith, stable, archer range, and those are the buildings that Blue would need before advancing to Castle Age. Red already has buildings. Blacksmith, the market would do it. The stable also would do it. More houses over here. All right, Red. Blue has not clicked up yet and might never click up. Look at how many villagers are queued up behind Wheelbarrow. Absolutely no rush for either player, really. Oh, quick wall! Quick wall! Quick wall! Oh, no! Okay, Red Scout escapes. A Red Scout is basically auto-scouting at this point, so I don't think that Red's really paying close attention to that. I mean, Blue could definitely go for a fast imp. This is ridiculous. If Red made more farms, Red could definitely pull that off as well. Red's got a lot of stone income. Holy moly. The moles are holy. Huh. Maybe drop a castle here in Castle Age. Maybe that's the game plan. A castle in the middle would be good on this map. Though, I suppose if they were to go fast imp by this game standards, it would still not be very fast. Red's not going to make it to the Castle Age until 28 minutes. Blue will probably be in Castle Age around 30 minutes at this point. As we now see Blue making houses in the back. And now comfortably taking this gold. What's up, Otto? Otto, my wrist is still really sore. From the bike crash, my left palm especially is really bad because it still hasn't healed up. So it's really, really awkward. I can't use the keyboard as comfortably. My knee and elbow also are like all scabbed up and whatnot, and that just sucks when I sleep. But it's getting better. I think in a week's time everything will be back to normal. But yeah, it's more so my thumb on my left hand is really sore. Like the tendons that extend from the wrist to that thumb really took a beating when I used that hand to catch myself in the bike crash. His Spraggy says the problem is games of this Elo go on forever. Wait a second, that's a problem? I love that. I love that. That's what makes slow Elo Legends fun. Games really go on a long time. Castle Age for Red. Is Blue ever going Castle? Oh, Blue's going to be up to Castle Age after these two villagers. Okay. And now Blue realizes the importance of the middle. Wait a second. Wait a second. Do you see this? Oh my god. It's an AI army. Spearmen, archers, and scouts. Oh, it's adorable. It's adorable. If you don't know what to make, just make a little bit of everything, and that solves the problem. Easy peasy. I don't really know the counters. GoPro Gambler says, why is that bad? It counters everything. See, that's the logic from a low Elo Legends perspective. Why on earth would this be bad? You cover all your bases. Well, the downside, the realistic downside is, like, let's use knights, for example. What here counters knights? The spearmen. So a third of this army counters a knight. Okay, let's talk about skirmishers. A third of this army counters skirmishers. Let's talk about, I don't know, champions. A third of this army counters champions and archers. Whereas if you commit all your resources to one really good thing, that's going to pack more of a punch for you. And so that's why at higher elos you tend to see just one army comp in mid-game with full upgrades like knights or crossbows, as opposed to sprinkling in resources and quote-unquote wasting resources with others. So that's just the reality is how the game ends up playing out. Now, they're both in a position, I kind of felt like they'd be in a position where they'd be able to get decent upgrades on everything they're making. But yeah, that's kind of why an AI army comp tends to be countered by the enemy committing to just one thing and doing it well. So at this point, like if this becomes pikeman, crossbow, light cav, a lot of crossbows would take this out and a lot of knights would take this out. But then again, I mean, that it depends on how many knights we're talking. That's a lot of upgrades from the blacksmith too. We went for every single blacksmith upgrade, and here it comes. And I will tell you, it's got to be really confusing to know what to do when you don't necessarily know what I just said. And that's maybe why Red is playing so defensive with the walls and the castles. But how do you counter an army that has every single unit type? Again, my point, like the lesson here is, again, if you make an army that has every unit type, that means half of your army does well against whatever is coming at you, as opposed to 100% of your army. Does that make sense? Using my previous example, hopefully it makes a little bit of sense. But it's not... Like, 37 militia would be better than the 2 military that Red has right now. I think Red has a monk and a scout, and that's it. Red just straight up does not have a lot of military. Oh, man. Wouldn't the counter at this level of elo be mass mag and Ls? Yeah, Siege would do very well against this, depending on micro, though. Because Blue does have some melee units in there, and Blue could always take that out. So it really comes down to how well they're going to micro it. And it seems like while Red is not making military, Red is focusing his or her time on the economy right now. Has fallen behind in villagers, but getting some good eco upgrades. Even getting town patrol. Okay, now we're seeing arson, squires, and longswordsmen. So again, it's an AI army comp. Blue probably won't move out until everything's upgraded here. Pikeman needs to be upgraded. Crossbowman needs to be upgraded. And that's another thing. It's also how much you need to invest to get something fully upgraded. You have to get the pikeman, the crossbow, the light cav upgrade. Then you need to get the blacksmith upgrades for every unit type. It's actually more expensive if you want to have that army that is comprised of everything with upgrades. Interesting. Okay, we see the sanctity. Sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning during this fast-paced game. We see the sanctity upgrade, the redemption upgrade, and then 4 monks? Huh. Why these upgrades, Blue? No joke. The cat walked in here, and I saw the cat yawn, and it made me yawn. I know that Fervor's researched a lot at low elo, and Fervor makes the monks a bit faster. But I wonder why Panthera is prioritizing the 475 gold upgrade redemption. I just made like 3,000 people yawn. I'm sorry. I remember back when my girlfriend and I would like talk on the phone and whatnot because we didn't live together. We'd always have secondhand yawning. Like she would yawn, I would yawn. It goes both ways. And wow, Artem is on the way to Imp, making some kip checks right now. Quite a few kip checks, in fact, and could always make trebuchets. Here comes Blue. Blue's like, I can't be countered. I have everything. Charge! Fear me! Roar! Oh, there's a hole there. And if Blue just walks on through and Red doesn't react, this could be problematic for Red. Well, I mean... If the goal is to create some confusion, mission accomplished. But the castle and the TCs and this new castle, if it completes, done a pretty good job. And like I said, like Blue, a lot of this army here feels a little useless. In the end, Blue did extend the eco lead though, and will even end up taking out a few units here as this castle goes up. Now, Red, it's so funny to me how, like, Red's not... We have Blue making a little bit of everything and getting a bunch of upgrades on it. Red's not doing much except for saving resources. So one would assume that Red could get upgrades like Elite Kipchak and Bodkin Arrow and Chemistry. But I'm not... Like, Blue's not queuing up more Kipchaks despite having the wood and gold. Keep getting the colors wrong. Oh, wow. We have a raid in the south. Quick, take out his blacksmith. If you take out his blacksmith, he can't upgrade his units. All right. Red's about to be in the Imperial Age. What will Red do to make these units stronger? I don't think Red really has a game plan here. 24 on food for Blue, and Blue has the eco lead in terms of villagers on pretty much every resource at this point. The only category Blue's not winning in is wood, but more villagers going there. And now we have elephant archers. And I think the elephant archers were clicked to attack the house foundation, and yep, they're attacking the house. That's a misclick from Blue. It's unfortunate. It happens to the best of us. Blue meant to click the villagers, but clicked the house. So the elephant archers are going to die without doing any damage. But, okay, one thing that I forgot to mention as we were talking about the pros and cons of what Blue was doing. What? So redemption was intentional. Blue actually knows what the technology does, and Blue is going to convert the house. Worth it. Freaking worth it. Let's go. Red, what's your reaction here? Oh, the villagers are going to fight back. I'd laugh if they just made another house right next to it. Because Red really wants to make house walls, and that just ruins his plans. Okay, where are they going? Wait a second. 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 Are they building this castle, or is Red going to try and complete these walls? Okay, they're building the castle. Anyways, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confused and overwhelmed do you think Red is after seeing 6 or 7 different types of military from Blue? This is something I really should have mentioned earlier when we were talking about how Blue was playing this. I talked about the pros and cons of it. Okay, we're seeing a lot of 7s, a lot of 8s. I kind of agree with you on that. I think that there's got to be some confusion from Red. Even though it is possible, as Blue's going to convert another house. This is so funny. This is so funny to me. You know, it's of course possible if you commit to one unit type to do very well here, but Artem might not necessarily know that. And Artem's getting blacksmith upgrades that take him all the way back to feudal age, so it's going to take Red some time to really take advantage of him. There's more monks here. There's more monks here. Let's go. Yo, Sakir and Otto, thank you both very much for the 10 gifted subs. I saw one of you say that you would gift 10 subs if something happened, but I'm not sure what that something was, or if that's even why you gifted the subs, but I really appreciate that, and it's been a fun day today. Red still taking his time to get upgrades, and Blue's just chipping away at the enemy pop space. Artem did have 200 pop space, and now it's just 195. General Waka, welcome and thanks for that prime sub. All right, the Kipcheks are here. Now, these things are far from fully upgraded. Remember, Kumans don't even get Bracer. So they're maxed out with that, but I think Chemistry would be needed as well. Elite Kipchek, Thumb Ring, the armor upgrade. But still, in the end, as I've stated many times already, most of Blue's army does not do well against Kipcheks. He did tech into Elite Skirm, but we don't see any Elite Skirmishers out here. Now, Elephant Archers are supposed to be an anti-archer unit. They're kind of a meme. They're also incredibly expensive. But in theory, if you get full upgrades on those, I think they should be half decent against Kipcheks. And here they come. Elite Kipchek on the way for Artem. The monks going down. Longswordsman going down, crossbowman going down. The KDs is everything you need to know about that army composition. Did Red intentionally micro back there? Looks like he was able to pick up on which unit Blue was trying to convert. Backed away. But yeah, Chad, what's the pierce armor, excuse me, of an elite elephant archer? I think if you get full upgrades, it's 8 pierce armor. And then you have 350 HP. Okay, it might be 9. Either way, 8 or 9 against Kipcheks. That means the Kipcheks are doing basically 1 damage. So it's probably the go-to unit here. And there's a monk in there to heal up, too. Now, pretty soon, Blue could mix in some trebuchets. Red hasn't really been doing that. I see Red getting Cav armor that does not apply to the Kipcheks. That's probably confusing, though. Type a 16 in chat if it was confusing, figuring out what armor upgrades apply to which units. Like, I feel as though in his eyes, since this is on a horse, getting the knight armor should work. But it's a horse archer, so you get the archer armor. Yeah. I can see that. Yo, Khan Nico, thanks for the 3 months. Thanks for the Pog Champ. We have ourselves a close game. Wait, I looked away for a second, and then I came back and something exploded.
You all just lost the game.
What? Did you guys see that? Or am I crazy? What? Blue, what the? Petards? No, just make trebs. just wait for a trebuchet, really. It's fine. You don't need to make petards. It's not needed here. Boom. Well, at least it's trebuchets from here on out. 5,000 wood for Blue. Red has quite a few Kipcheks. And getting the archer armor upgrade now. Is still missing Thumb Ring, I believe. is still missing Parthian
A
tactics.
little bit of scouts is all I need. A little bit of archers is what I see. A little bit of spearmen in the sun. A little bit of skirms all night long. A little bit of knights. You can tell. A little bit of you makes me your
Makes me your lel. Thank you, Smallhead. That was beautiful. Who's gonna win this game? It's very close. I'm gonna get banned for that. Thank you very much. It was way too similar to the real version. I really hope that both players go into this fight with upgrades. They're missing an equal amount of upgrades. Let's just put it that way. I'm also curious on if there will be a patrol or if they're going to click. The ranged units, if you patrol an attack stance, they automatically attack as they go in. Using this as an example, you can tell he just clicked a random unit here. Okay. That variety is certainly making things awkward for red. Blue is moving in underneath the castle fire, but the castle fire might not be there for much longer because blue has the trebuchet, something that red had the opportunity to do. Red is making halberdier. I think halberdier Kipchak could be really good here. Of course, two-handed swordsman in theory counter halberdier, but the Kipchaks are there, so I don't think so. Honestly, no micro is best micro here as long as they both sit their units in the middle. What a weird fight to look at. Red has so many units back here. Red's not using yet. Red even has knights in here that could be using. Blue should be better off. Blue still has way more military, and red still gets stressed out right now. Not creating additional Kipchaks, not grouping them all up together, which is the important thing. I think blue's probably forgotten about this army, but there is an army here. But that's a pretty unimportant area of the map unless we're talking about that gold. All right, and blue is now going to heal up his force. Red has 2 relics. Blue about to get the second, I think. Wait, where are you going? Hello? Blue, what are you hiding the old man in the trees here? I don't understand. Okay. It's a peace offering. It's a peace offering. Well, we can't see chat. Maybe it is. Well, now blue is angry. Like, oh my god! Since the monk is in there, blue has actually clicked the trebuchet with the monk and could possibly convert that. You do need to get to the base of it to get a conversion, though, on a treb with redemption monks. But I think the monk's on the way there. This is not intentional by blue, and I think the monk will go down anyways. Again, these elephant archers are no joke. There's not many of them left. Red 26 military, blue 60 military. And blue just seems to be able to create more. I mean, maybe also red could use additional castles. Honestly, that's not it. Red just needs to constantly create from the castles. You see, the problem with using ranged units against trebuchets, you're never going to have a chance of taking it out. So blue's tossed away those units. And blue does have a heavy camel now, and is selling a lot of wood for gold. Wow, that's good. Look at that gold. Also is making more crossbowmen. Okay, just queuing up pikemen, camels, crossbowmen. So these are the forward production buildings that blue's going to use. And now red is running into the castle fire. Yeah, red is really struggling to push this back. I don't have confidence that red can actually do this now. Both players losing a lot of pop, but blue constantly producing. I think Artem is overwhelmed right now. Like, this castle is just queued up a bunch of Kipchaks. This castle is not. This castle is not. I think red is just very overwhelmed and does not know what to do. And red doesn't have the tools, at least from what I can see, to be able to take out a castle in the middle. I think blue's going to win this game soon. I think the macro has been better for blue. And just blue has created the proper number of military units. Ooh, actually the Cavalier, though, can take everything out here. Even the camels. they can do decently well against because the camels don't have full upgrades. Red, come on, fight with your units. Here we go. Blue is making the mistake of clicking buildings and trebs instead of leaving his units on attack stance. I mean, that stable has a lot of cav queued, and there's halberdiers on the way now. Okay, blue has realized. It's a brutal fight to watch, right? It has not been clean. It's not been pretty. Red is way behind economically. Red doesn't have as much to go with long term. I do prefer Indians. I think their options are superior. Kumans do get siege ram. Indians don't get that. But like imp camel, halberdier. I don't know about crossbow. I feel like crossbowman's not a good deck, but apart from that, I think everything else is pretty solid. What's up, Carbo? GG's last night, my friend. Yeah, I was watching an Argentinian streamer last night. And I cannot speak Spanish. I mean, I can, but I can say like, hola, amigo, ¿cómo está? And that's about it. And so I was like, mi español muy shito. Because I was watching some games. Okay, this treb is going to go down. Yep. And someone 2 minutes ago said blue will win this game. It will just take a while. I'm beginning to agree with that individual. I mean, as long as camels are in there, that's the key ingredient to deal with the cav. So as long as the Indian heavy camels are always in there, I'm feeling good for blue that he won't get overwhelmed by the cavalier. And blue is always creating out of these 3 buildings. And this castle. So 4 buildings in the middle, he's constantly queuing up units. Whereas for red, it's been 1 or 2 buildings at a time, and that's why blue's constantly had more military. But blue's got all this back home. He's got all this over here, so he doesn't have that much in the middle. I don't know, maybe 40 units. And Paladin? If red is patient enough, Paladin can do insane things here. If he's patient enough... No, don't... No, don't go out right now. Oh, God, the villager went down. That's not what I mean by patience. Just mass your cav, back up, get to like 30 paladins, and you could overrun and even push underneath the castles. Okay, that's the second time red has done this, and that's actually a really good move. Back up to his castle fire. He's tempting blue to come in too far here. Blue takes losses every time that happens. And blue actually feels as though this can be pushed right now. Elephant Archer's doing work and tanking shots, but I'm not so sure about that. Normally, I'd say that red will need more production buildings, and believe me, red does. But the problem for red is red does not have the wood to make many more stables. It's fascinating if you look at the KD, because blue has been ahead for a very long time. Wait, is he getting Faith? Faith? Blue has Faith. I think that's Faith. What a time to get some monk technologies. Oh, getting all the monk technologies. What? Okay, maybe, and this is just a theory of mine, maybe blue doesn't know what the monk techs do, so blue's just clicked all of them. It will also boost your score, but something tells me that's not the reason. Guys, blue is tossing units like it's his day job. And again, Paladin is in. Red still has resources. Red is gonna... What? You know what? I'm not gonna address that right now. I'll think of words to use to describe that. But as red walls that side, if red makes a few trebuchets, I could see him pushing this back with Paladin. Blue, and the fact that he's making a little bit of everything is costing him right now. And not just costing him in numbers and poor fights, but also the cost of it. He lost camels. He's losing crossbows, champions. Everything he's been making, even the elephants, has been costing gold. And he doesn't actually have any gold to mine currently. There is some gold down here, and that might be the only gold remaining on the map beyond this gold. I can't click that to see how much gold is left, but it's probably not much for red. And then it's 2-1 on relics. Red is producing out of both these stables. Red is making Kipchaks too. Red is going to own blue. And if there's one trebuchet to back it up, I think blue's in big trouble. Senf Gurke, thank you for the Prime sub. Red Pillar, appreciate the new sub and that choke earlier. Hutch, thank you for the 10 months. Yeah, guys, at this point, subbing to the stream or resubbing to the stream does contribute to the Hidden Cup 4 final prize pool. Of course, main event, March 18th through the 21st. And round 2 of the 3-week qualifiers is in a few days. Ooh, Red sending Paladins down this way. Epic Smoke, that's the thing. Epic Smoke saying that Red will just throw his military away underneath castles, but Paladins underneath castles are pretty damn good. Here comes Blue. Blue just remembered that there was a force here, and that force will go into castles. This is not good under castles and against Paladins, so rip to that army for Blue. And at the same time, Blue's moving in here. We have Monks, Cav Archers, Crossbowmen, Petards, Hussar, Champion. There used to be Camels. There used to be Elephant Archers. And everything that I was saying earlier about that mix of everything composition is happening here. Blue is committed to 2 units, Paladin and Kipchaks. He's gotten, for the most part, all the upgrades on those units. Blue is making a mix of units, and when he goes into these fights, it's so inefficient, and it's tossing away resources. I know that Blue has double the economy, but I don't have faith that Blue can actually win this game. Question now is, can Red bring it back? Will Red ever take out the castle in the middle? I think Red is just, oh god, he's just clicked everything to hit the treb. Oh no, that's very messy. Ah! Oh god. Oh god, this is so messy. Now, the one unit in here that is working very well for Blue right now is the Halberdier, because it does not cost gold. And if it gets hits on the Paladins and the Kipchaks, it does very well in those situations. But still, 50 Paladins beats 50 Halbs. And I'm just waiting to see if Red's going to continue to produce. Red has resources. Falco, thanks for 14. That's true. Yeah, that's kind of how it works. Appreciate it. 34 military versus 22. Again, Blue is out of gold, but Blue also has a lot of wood to sell at the market. And Blue is making champions and crossbows and some camels. Red knew about this gold earlier. Red hasn't really tried to go out for it. What on... Wait a second. If this gets walled up, these poor lumberjacks are going to have to walk the whole way around. Oh my god. Blue just lost that trap. There's still a relic there too. I don't know why Red tried to palisade wall an imp. That is pretty... Oh no. No. That's pretty insane. And... Oh. Oh, yep. She's got to walk the whole way around now. This is like in Roller Coaster Tycoon when you forget to build a path. And then everyone gets stuck and everyone gets in a bad mood. And then your park rating goes way down. Not that I know anything about that. There's some stone here for Blue. Okay, it looks like Blue is mining that. Zoom out here and just look at this game. 41 on food for Panth. I mean, that's sick. Panth just needs to go full Halberdier here. And I would really like to see Red try and raid Blue in some way, instead of just react the whole time. And taking the gold would also be good. It looks like it's going to be a priority of wood now for Red, and more palisade walls. Blue is the higher rated player. You can clearly see, though, how Blue is 500 elo because of some of the struggles with the comp. I mean, there's 9 different military units on the field right now. Red is sending units down here. I think Red remembers there being something here from Blue earlier and is just checking to see if there's anything over there right now. Yep, okay, new lumber camp over here. All right, Red focusing on that. Red really... Both players could be creating more villagers just to get their economy a bit stronger, but I think Blue's food economy, wood economy has been better all game. And Blue also doesn't wait too long, which is a very good thing. Here it comes. Again, it's Hussars, Camel, Champions, Halbs, Cav Archers, Crossbow, Petard. How do you counter Blue's army when you just make everything? That's the logic. And watch it all die to Paladin, man. It's all gonna freaking die to Paladin. This has been happening time and time again. And the thing is, Blue will probably win games because Blue continues to produce. And so Blue will continue to do this because Blue thinks I just won with a winning strategy. But in reality, if Blue were to commit to a few units instead of making a little bit of everything, Blue would do so much better. So, you know, there's a, I think the YouTube title is like the most petarded game ever. There's a sick game, Viper MBL played a 1v1. And it's been on YouTube for a few years where petards have been used. Normally you see petards to break through stone walls, or if two castles go up right next to each other, you see petards from time to time. They're pretty situational. They're not good against units. They're only good against buildings. So yeah, if you want a competitive match with petards, that would be the way to go. Okay. At this point, I have lost faith that Red will ever make Trebs. Does he want to win? Or did Mom just say one more game, son, and Red just wants to play defense? Imagine what Red could accomplish if Red were to have trebuchets behind a winning fight. Win the fight, and then Treb down this castle. I mean, he has no gold for Trebs. It's not true. It's not true. He just queued up a bunch of kip checks. He doesn't have gold for Trebs because he's making 15 more kip checks. And now he's selling resources to get more gold. And what's he going to do with the gold? Get guilds. It's not the worst tech in the world. After guilds, you can... Oh, and here's a TC for Red. Okay. Eventually. But yeah, guilds means when you sell resources, you get a little bit more in return. Is Blue going to switch up the angle? Oh, the box formation! Oh, man. Oh, this is amazing. Let's go! Box formation, hussars, halbs, champions, crossbows, petards, trebs, the siege in back, the meat up front, and it's all gonna die again. It's all gonna die again. And these trebuchets are super expensive. I hope that this game, if it goes to YouTube, will serve as a lesson, you know, just to show why people tend to streamline into 1 or 2 units with gold units, or just units in general. I hope that's a bit of a lesson, but also I hope that we appreciate Blue, because I can understand the logic. It's just like, at what point does the thinking change for both of them? Red wins another fight and could just be trebbing this down right after the fight, but just stays at home again, even garrisoning the weak units to heal them up. And then Blue immediately does the same thing as last time. More halbs, now making skirms, now making hussars. I mean, there might not be wood left on the map if this game continues much longer. Red does now have gold income. That gold will go a long way towards paladins. It's 800 times 3. It's 2,400 gold. And Artem is selling wood for gold as well. Yo, T90, upload not enough vids for me to watch daily. Oh, you're saying I need to upload more. Well, my schedule... Oh, the monk. The monk. This relic's been out here a long time. Artem is just yoinking the relic from the middle of the map. That was once part of a trade deal gone wrong. Yeah, I was supposed to have videos every day. We've had some editing mishaps behind the scenes, so... So yeah, we'll get back to that. Sorry about that, but welcome to the stream. Karos says, you can do math now? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Really? 800 times 3 is not complicated math. I'm offended. Hey, Panthera also selling some food right now and getting raided. Blue showing some confidence with some raids. This is the first time Red has raided Blue in... ever? Maybe? I mean, I don't know if that counts as a raid, but... Alright. Red raiding, Blue raiding. Everyone raiding. A castle here to protect. Alright, Artem. I'm digging it. 43 military versus 53 military. Make some trebuchets, Artem. I swear. Like, If Artem goes the rest of the game without making trebs, I'm going to lose my mind. Make some trebs. Oh, wow. Blue raided this lumber camp over here. I didn't see that.
Oh.
And now Blue's sending a villager over there. I'll keep an eye on it. There's a lot of hussars. Again, hussars counter... well, the skirmishers in that force. Paladin is the big thing. If this ends up being hussar and Kipchak, I think that Blue's going to be able to deal with it. But the paladins that are out there are very, very strong. And so when you have hussars that are tanking that damage, the paladins are probably not getting attacked most of the time. And so they're getting some big, big hits. I think the game's going to end soon. People are saying this game is going to last for a long time. I think this game's actually going to end soon. I just have a feeling there's going to be a big play. And as I say that, Red is moving out, and Red is deleting a hole in the wall. Red's going to go raid. And what if Blue pushes in at the exact same time? I think Blue's also going to get the confidence to push in here. This is a lot more than Blue had in the previous fights. Okay, this is what Blue can see. That's not what Blue can see. That's what Red can see. Capture Age. Hey. Okay, this is what Blue can see. See what's behind there. Red going extra sneaky. Oh, man. What if Red goes for the main eco and just hits the farms? Red, the longer you wait, though, the more time Blue has. Okay. Here they come. Now, if Blue ends up sending his force forward at the same time, it'll be really fascinating, but he's going to need some defense for this. Okay. I mean, the farming eco is going to take a big hit here. Town bell. Ding, ding, ding. The TC could die to hussars, though. And now Blue is probably going to send everything that he has back to deal with that. But since he's grouped up fast units and slow units together, the group goes at the pace of the slowest unit in there. Will the TC be down by the time the units arrive? Well, not down. Oh, might go down, actually. No repairs. And Red's hussars. Oh, finish it! There we go. All right, that works. Oh, my God. Blue saved it. Blue is an actual god. Blue saved it. It went down to 20 HP. What in the world was that, man? Crazy stuff. Now, meanwhile, I think Blue did send something forward. And it died. Red, make a trap. I swear, Red, I'm gonna make a trap. Make some freaking traps. You have Blue all the way back here, and you refuse to make siege.
Hi T90. Thanks.
Oh boy.
To see.
Wait a second.
The good work.
Blue's gonna go for a little sneaky side base. Hussars and champions and rams over here. Yeah, you ram down those palisades. I don't know if rams were really needed here, but you know what? It sure doesn't hurt. Blue is like, you raid me, I raid you. Okay, Red, is he healing? Is there a monk in there? It looks like, it kind of looks like a missionary. The monk behind the Kipchak, but it kind of looks like the monk is on the on the horse there. That's funny. And Red sees this. And Red doesn't like this. Red will clear this up, no problem. So, Matt, man, thanks for 2. HC4 is going to be a blast. Thank you. I think Red probably will want to clear up these buildings. Blue sees this as an opportunity to fight Red, which is truly an excellent game move. And so he's sending his units in. And this is a good call from Blue because he is correct. Red will have less in defense now. And this is for the first time in a long time because of the numbers of halberdiers and the lack of champions. It does feel like this is a good fight for Blue. And Blue is going to do what Red has failed to do and back it up with siege. And Red's now making trebuchets. But now you need to defend your trebs. Don't lose everything, Red. Finally, after an hour and a half is making trebs, but now Blue... Oh God, Blue, don't do that. No, that's not good. Don't click the... And the temptation is real at low elo to click enemy buildings with your units. And then when that happens, your units aren't fighting. And ripperoni for blue there. And blue gets mopped up again. Now this would be the moment, red. Send your trebs forward. Counter attack. This is your time. The trebs are coming. I can't believe it. I actually can't believe it. We're actually seeing trebs. This is crazy. And if red goes for the castle, all of this is wide open for raids later on. Okay, blue is going to need to kick it into overdrive with production. Blue's making hussars, skirmishers, and champions. As we've established, it's a weird mix of units. But blue's been making a lot of them. 513 kills for red. 296 deaths. Because Artem is streamlining. He's sticking to units, upgrading them. Melee and range combo. It's not like a all-you-can-eat buffet or all-you-can-kill buffet army composition. Now, red certainly has benefited from this gold. That gold is soon going to run dry. And blue is trying to get in here to take out the trebuchets. He's even using his own treb, and his own treb will fall, but I think he gets a kill. Yoink. Gets it. This other group is desperate to run in to take out the next treb. Something that they will fail to do. And now the paladins are in. 100 pop versus 100 pop, guys. And I think Artem, the lower rated player, 480 elo player, can do this. Now, blue is going to raid with champions on the right side at the same time. Blue still has a lot of resources. Red still has a treb, though, which he can use to take out these buildings. And if you remember, blue was producing out of these buildings in the middle, and that was it at home. He wasn't producing from anywhere else. So if the barracks, stable, and archer range goes down, blue won't have any defense, and I think blue's about to call this game. Yeah, these raids are running into castles. Villagers are going to die. Wow. What a game. I think a game that a lot of people can learn from, but also an epic back and forth game. It's the beauty of low elo. You never really know what to expect. Red, don't click. Did he just do... He's doing the same damn thing. Oh my God. Stop doing this, people! Stop doing this! He right-clicked with all of his precious military onto the barracks. And so he's losing paladins. He's losing all these units. Oh, now he's clicked it onto the archer range. Okay, I mean... Could have been worse, I guess. Oh no, not the treb. Not the holy treb. Not the treb. Oh God, the desperation camel is going to take out the treb. But at least the barracks goes down, right? The barracks goes down, so now blue's going to have to recover. Blue may be shifting his focus to a counterattack with hussars and champs, but again, the castles are always there. I don't think attacking the houses is the play. Is that villager also going to attack the house? I think so. Blue probably just grouped up everything and forgot there was a villager there. For the first time in a long time, red has doubled the military of blue, if that's ever been the case, and blue taps out. Whew! What a game. What a comeback. What a hold from Artem. Impressive from him. And blue is probably going to be kicking themselves because it really felt like blue was the better of the two. And let's look at the statistics for a second. GoPro Gambler, I know you're in chat and I know you're watching, and I know we all had this conversation in, I think, Feudal Age or Castle Age, when we talked about mixing a bunch of units against picking the two strongest units you have and investing your resources into that. This is a clear example of, not that a mix is necessarily bad, but a mix, especially with gold units, being bad. Because half that army, every time blue would go in there, even though he had 6 units, half that army was kind of useless against what he was fighting against. I hope people learn from that. Certainly Panth is going to be frustrated to see this. Panth is probably going to think, what on earth do I do differently there? I made everything. I had more food, wood, stone, and gold collected. How did the KD look like this? Wild. Blue had more military numbers. A lot of those units were weak. You look at the map expiration. That, of course, was closed. The up times were a little different. Just a little bit. Red being an imp a whole 10 minutes faster. We also learned that trebuchets are very helpful, Red. And look! Ah! Look at that timeline, man! Oh my god! The only time that this timeline looked somewhat 50-50 was the point where Blue resigned. That's just ridiculous. So typically, and just to continue to talk about this before we hop onto the next game, because I really want to talk a little more about what you can learn from this. Typically, at higher levels, you're going to see every, like, one gold composition streamlined. So let's say Arbalest, for example. And then you combine that gold unit, you're using all your gold, right, for Arbalest, with a trash unit, which gives you the opposite of what you want in a fight, which is melee and ranged. So with Arbalest, you have gold unit, ranged, so that you then want trash unit, melee, like Halberdier or Hussar would be your option there. And then let's say you're going Paladin. You have Paladin, which is melee. You tend to see a lot of skirms with Paladin civs, because then skirms can help out against any range or, of course, any, like, Halberdier. So, yeah, like DC Goodplay said, trash units with a gold unit that you commit towards, plus some siege is typically what you're looking for, yeah. Now, it does depend, but that's kind of the general way to look at it if you're looking to improve and take some better fights. Honestly, in that game, there was a moment where Red was making Halberdiers, of course, but I think if Panth would have just committed to Imperial Camel instead of making so many champions, instead of making so many crossbowmen, crossbowman was the real killer. I mean, if it was Arbalest, it would have been a different story, but Indians don't get that, right? So I think if he would have gone for Imp Camel way earlier, it would have been fine. He was trickling them in, but that's a very expensive unit to work with. He did end up getting the Imperial Camel upgrade, too, which is very expensive. I have to get Heavy Camel first, of course. Jabroni says, is that 1v1 only? Yeah, in team games, there are situations where trash units can be helpful, but gold units are always superior, and in team games, usually the moment you're switching out of gold units, you're dying. So think about it this way. You switch into skirms, there's going to be someone out there with knights, and your skirms get wrecked. And then you switch into halberdiers, there's going to be someone out there with archers, and your halbs get wrecked. So yeah, in team games, you always want to stick with one unit. You go for melee, and your ally goes for ranged, or vice versa. Poof. I feel bad for Blue there. I really do, because Blue seemed to play all the elements of that, except for, well, not all the elements, but many of the economic elements a bit better than Red did. But congratulations to Red. That was a grind.